Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Xia, the Great Houses. Great Houses is brought to you by Bad Comet. It's for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, and games range anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. So, Xia is a board game filled with deadly strategy and countless possibilities to build your own kingdom. You'll dive into the world of Xia through fantastic artwork and storylines. So, in the base game, you will build your very own kingdom and various buildings and character cards. Utilize creative tactics to take the lead with highly dynamic gameplay. There are 2 ways to win in Xia. You are simply going to deal 12 damage to your opponent's palace and destroy it, or you can achieve 18 culture points. The game is played through multiple rounds. A round does consist of 3 different phases though. First, you will have the purchase phase, where you will purchase cards and resources. Next, you will have the building phase, where you will build the purchased cards on the territory board. And finally, you have the action phase. Roll the dice and activate the cards built on the territory board using those dice. If you want more information about how this base game plays, please go check out our preview from 2019. Now, that brings us to the Great Houses. And so, a 100-year-long warring states period was ended by the great Emperor Nada. Nada unified the continent with the support of 11 vassals who were very loyal to him. After the war, the Emperor awarded the 11 loyal families with great fortune and lands. As time passed by, these noble families became the most influential force in Xia, and people called them the Great Houses. So let's go back and dive into this world of Xia. And it's important to note that this preview will focus primarily on just what's new in this expansion. So let's kick things off with what is actually new in this expansion. You have 60 new level 2 cards. You have 7 new character cards. And now we have 20 quest cards, along with the quest trackers. There are 11 noble house tiles. And for the solo game, you have the boss board, level 1 minion cards, level 2 minion cards, boss lock cards, and the boss gauge tracker. Alright, so let's jump in and take a look at how this new mode works for the overall game. Now, with these new bits, you may have to make some adjustments to some of the different game modes, but in general, let me show you the basics. You have the 11 great houses, and you'll deal out 4 of those to the table, leaving the stack for easy access. And then you have the quest cards, and you will deal out 5 quest cards below the great houses. Now the quest trackers. Every player will grab trackers in their color, and then you're really ready to begin. And again, there's variance based on the different game mode you're playing, but in general, you're always looking to these quest cards to see if you've completed anything on your turn. And if you have, you can grab one of these cards, and as soon as you do, you'll refill the row. Now, there are 2 different types of quest cards. First, we have the immediate type of quest card, and that's just text on the card. If you fulfill that requirement, you grab the card. And as an example, we have activate 4 different cards in your territory in 1 round. So if you do that, then you'll just grab this card. And what's important to note is that you're going to have these quest cards in order to purchase the great houses. Or you can choose to turn these in for 2 gold. So you have a couple options there. Second type of quest card is one with 3 boxes on it. This card has to be completed 3 times in order for you to grab it. Now, the difference here is that you'll use those quest trackers and put it on the card. And once you start that card, no one else can jump in on the card with you. You will have to complete it on your own 3 different times, and then you can grab it and use it for its resources. Now, the purchase phase of the game, that first phase, is where you have the opportunity to buy one of these great houses. If you look in the right top corner of the card, you'll see what it requires in the way of quest cards, as well as sometimes you might need to pony up some gold. So there's different requirements for each of the different houses, and you'll see their name and their flag on the card as well. At the bottom of the card, though, is that card's ability, and that will remain in play until the end of the game, and you'll just put it off to the side of your main board. But these are really activated when you need them, and they are quite valuable. It adds a lot of neat new flavor to the game. Now let's take a look at these level 2 cards. These are the cards throughout the game that you'll be acquiring, adding to your tableau, and activating with dice. Now, some of the new features here are cards like the Totem or the Sacred Tree that have multiple classes on them. And with these different classes and things, you even have interesting ways to create synergy between the different cards. But there's also a new command on these cards, the gold one. And what you're doing then is activating the card with your dice like always, but you may also have to pay gold in order to get the benefits of this card. And of course, we have the 7 new characters in this game. We have like the Duke and the Baby King, but I absolutely love the artwork on these cards and the game in general. It's just beautiful, but they give you a wide variety of new abilities throughout the game. Now, just like in the base game, you can refer to this new rulebook for the expansion and see some interesting new game modes. And there are 4 new ones, in fact, beautifully illustrated and easy to follow in how to set up the game. So you have the Sellsword, and you have the Prosperity of Shallya, Religion and Belief, and Usurper. Usurper is the interesting one because this is the solo experience where you have to confront an enemy boss. And there are 2 different difficulties here. You can play normal or hard, which is interesting. And the goal is to destroy the boss by dealing 15 damage. Or you can simply score 18 points on the culture track. Now, you have the main boss board, which will lead you through the experience. And the top is to track the boss life and the boss gauge, where the boss will attack the player and unlock hidden abilities. At the bottom, you will have where the boss's hidden abilities are located and where you'll have minion card slots. Now, the solo mode plays a lot like a 2-player game. And what's interesting is that you have the boss, right, which is kind of like an AI in the game. And they're obviously going after you, and there will be no building phase for the boss, obviously, but they will be attacking, and they're going after different levels of targets. First, they're going after defense that you have on your board, and then they'll go after those level 2 cards, and then finally your palace. But they'll never attack your level 1 cards, which is nice. And of course, what's really interesting is that boss gauge. And the way the boss ramps that up is that his minions will do that for him as they come into play. So there's a lot of really interesting things in this solo game, and I don't generally play solo games, but I found this to be really engaging. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview, and everything you've seen here has been in prototype form, so keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. But with that said, I mean, this looks beautiful. The artwork is very polished, very done. The cards look done as well, printed and ready to go. So they've really pulled out all the stops for this prototype. As usual, they've always done a great job with the base game and now this game. So I really look forward to this getting made and being published, because Shallya is one of my games that I just go back to again and again. But in general, you know, that's just a brief look at what's new, and I'm excited for this expansion for sure. But folks, ultimately, if this looks like something that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.